So I just wanted to go ahead and do um, this praise report because God is just so awesome. It was another word of knowledge experience actually yesterday and happened, and God is just so great. But it even says that we're supposed to desire earnestly the gifts of the Spirit, and 1 Corinthians 14. I think there's a couple other verses on that. But these things are to be desired um, for the greater good and to help share the love of Christ and for people to know that they are loved. Um, like an actual sign of being loved, like this supernatural. Um, it shows that God knows them and is paying attention to them, and there's so many gifts of the Spirit and supernatural signs and wonders that um, can help people feel the love of God in their lives, and that's really what we're called to do. So it says that signs and wonders, like these signs and wonders, will follow those who believe, and I will link that verse in there. And and it says we're called to make disciples and stuff like that. We're really sharing the gospel and the love of Christ. But so this was another word of knowledge experience that happened yesterday. And oh man, there's another one. Okay. So a thing that happened the day before, I'll have to tell you guys that story on a different time. But so 2 days ago, these were 2 work days in a row. I was just feeling really crappy about my job and really cruddy. So I prayed, I prayed, and I said, God, is there a way, could you bring the supernatural into a spiritually dead workplace? And he delivered. I swear it was amazing. I didn't expect it that day. I didn't expect, you know, I knew that he would do things because he's faithful and he loves to show his faithfulness, but I didn't expect it that day and in such a way, because right after I prayed that prayer, I remembered that there was a baby shower at work that day, and so I went to pick out a baby shower gift, the day of or whatever. So, and you know, God leads me everywhere I go. We do everything together. We even grocery shop together. Like, I'll pray for him to lead me to the best ingredients, the right ingredients. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to do with the stuff, and then I get home and something turns out good. But so, like, I try to involve him in everything and be led in everything because he cares even about our day-to-day lives. Like, every little thing that we do, we can ask for his help on. We can ask for him to do those things with us. So why would you not want that? It's like he's always there. So anyway, here's a good example of that is, so I went to the BX and I was looking for a baby shower gift for this baby shower that was going to be at work on shift. And so I went to the baby section, and they had said that they wanted boys' clothes, 18 months, because they already had a bunch of little stuff. So I was looking at some of the other stuff, and somehow um, the little washing machine thing and the dryer, it was a bottle drying rack, and so I had this dishwasher thing where the bottle things go in there and you put it in the dishwasher and it keeps it all contained. And then I had this bottle drying rack in my other hand. And I really liked this one better, but I was just kind of like, which one am I gonna get? And I always try to let God lead in these things. So I got the bottle drying rack, and so I got a little bag to put it in, and I took it to work for um, the baby shower. So anyway, I didn't know that they were opening gifts at all. Like, I guess they just started it and didn't tell anybody. But so I all of a sudden I just hear, who got this gift and didn't put their name on it? And I turned around and the mom is just smiling and holding the bottle rack, and I was like, oh yeah, that's us. And they're like, you didn't put your name on it and stuff like that. And they were like, this is the perfect gift because I have been trying to find one for her for a long time, and trying to find one for cheap. Like, how did you know? And a couple people threw out some words like psychic and witch. Okay, so Jesus was accused of having demons too, so I'm in good company. Just people are gonna say things like that about you if you're walking in the spirit. It's just gonna happen. So I was actually offended at that, and I was pretty upset at that and offended at that for like the entire day. I was mad. But offense is a stumbling block. We're not supposed to be offended. Um, we're not supposed to be offended. It's a stumbling block to you. It's not good for you. So I prayed for God to take that away. I prayed fervently for God to take the offense out of my heart because I can't do it on my own, and I was willing to cooperate. So I'm not offended at that anymore because in a way it's like Jesus was accused of having demons every time something happened while he was around. So anyway, we are called to walk in the spirit. We're called to do like to be led, to be used by God. If you haven't asked God to use you yet, ask him. He would love to. He would absolutely love to use you for his purposes and show you these amazing things, like just super cool things that you would just never think that would happen. I didn't even see that one coming. I had no idea. So there was that one. And so the one that happened yesterday, so cool because I just asked God if he would bring the supernatural into the workplace 2 days ago, and he did it twice, actually 3 times. Three This is getting out of control, right? I cannot keep up with the goodness of God. I cannot keep up with him. All these things just keep popping back into my mind of other things that he's done. It's just amazing. I could talk to you about this all day. Like, wow. Um, okay, so um, this was the word of knowledge experience that happened yesterday. So I went to the bathroom and I'm praying in the bathroom at work, which I do very often. Just spending time with God because sometimes that's the only time that I have to spend is I have to break away and spend time with God. Um, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't even know. But I think I was praying for my aunt, and sometimes I just pray for people as they come into my mind. Just trying to be led in that area as well. So I was praying for my aunt, and I was just kind of like, um, God, is there anything that you would like to? I was trying to think, is there anything that you would like to say to her? Um, if you would, and I said, I believe it's your will to reach out to her and show her your love more, and I believe it's your will to do those things for her. So if you want to, would you give me a word of knowledge for her? So I sat and I listened, or I was trying to be still, and I heard Chevy. I was like, Chevy, okay. And I pictured this blue car. And I was like, this is weird. Like, I was thinking that he was gonna tell me something about some way that she's been feeling lately or something. I don't know. But no, it was Chevy. The word was Chevy, and I pictured a blue car. And I could see this car, I had my eyes closed. I could see this car pretty, not very clearly, but I kept seeing it over and over. It was repeating, and I was like, is this really it? Like, is this really what the word of knowledge I'm getting? I was like, this is weird. But it kept coming up. So I was like, yeah, that's the Lord. And so I kind of was like, and he's so funny too. Like his sense of humor, he is so hilarious because, he could tell us something that's like serious, but he's just so funny. Anyway, I was kind of like sitting there like, um, God, I'm not really sure if this is actually what you're trying to say to me. This blue Chevy, which is a car that I'm seeing, I'm not sure I understand. Can I please get some clarification on how I'm supposed to deliver this word of knowledge, or I need clarification on this. And then I thought about all the pictures of the blue cars, the blue Chevy. So I was like thinking like Google Images and like stuff like that, and I was like to send her a picture of a blue Chevy, a car. I was like, um, okay, like it's so weird, right? You would think I'm not ever going to send someone a picture of something like that and just not say anything, and like it's just kind of weird. But I was like, I'm gonna do this. So I went back out on to my desk and I Googled it, blue Chevy car, something like that, and I scrolled to see if any of those pictures looked like what I saw. And so I picked one out and I sent it to her. And I didn't put any text. I was like, this is super weird, but I'm just gonna step out in faith. And she messaged me back and she said, my dad had one of those cars when him and my mom were first married. Whoa. Right? And so I was like, no way, you're kidding. And which, of course, that's my papaw. And I was like, no way, you're kidding. And she was like, yep, it looked like that, except it was black. Um, then she said, I wanted one in my 20s as well. She wanted, it was this model, very, very specific old style model. It's like kind of the 50s shape. I don't know anything about cars. It's so silly. God knows I don't know anything about cars. This was the word of knowledge. I just love how funny he is. Um, and so it's like that 50s shape. And she was like, yeah, I wanted one in my 20s. And I was like, no way. I was like, you're gonna find this really silly, but God told me to send you this picture. Um, I was basically saying he's paying attention to you. He's listening to you. He loves you. He knows you. And I was trying to say things like that to her without sounding too preachy or too, you know, um, whatever stuff like that. And she thought it was really sweet. And then she said, "Yeah, Chevys are my favorite cars." That's what she said. Chevys are her favorite cars. And that's three different things right there. Like her dad had one when she was younger. She wanted one in her 20s, and Chevys are her favorite cars. Now, tell me that God does not care about every little single thing in your heart. You know? Tell me that He doesn't care about something that may seem so insignificant to you. He cares about all of it, every single bit of it. Um, it says that His thoughts towards us are as countless as the sand on the shore. And it's just amazing. Um, get to know God, Like He knows you fully. And, that's really, I want to say that's why we're here, is to get to know God. I know this is kind of an off-putting verse, but one of the verses is like in the end of time, if something like, depart from me, I never knew you, right? Nobody likes to hear that verse, but really, like, let's get to know Him. That's it's so wonderful. um it's such a blessing to be able to get to know God, that He actually wants a relationship with each and every one of us, and that He has time for every single one of us. Like every, He's always with you. I mean, if you have invited Christ into your life, He's always with you. Um, He's not too busy for us. He's always waiting, like wanting to spend time with us. So anyway, I just want to encourage you guys, if you haven't already, which I'm sure a lot of you have, get to know God. All right, God bless everyone.